It's Tanny Bridge Malone back with another YouTube video. So how y'all doing today? Hope y'all having a blessed day. You're blessed if you woke up to see another day. My mom says it's supposed to rain later today. It may, I don't know. This is Sunday. Sunday fun day. Christ Day. We're walking down the runway on the red carpet. The true Christian people. Whatever caused me to say that, probably the Lord. God, hey. Sunday, this is God's day. And I didn't even go to church today. I should have got in bed earlier so I could got up and went to church. I had to be at work till 5, but I still love the Lord. The Lord loves me, whether I'm in the pew or I'm not in the pew. He still gives me the true news every day. I speak of His true news every day on my channel. But anyway, I showed y'all my fit. I got to upload that. I uploaded the video, I'm pretty sure, of the fit that I got today. I know I'm spending a lot of money on clothes, but I work for my money, and I do need to save money, I know. But anyway, I'm sporting my $2 shirt, you might as well say, because I got 5 shirts at Walmart, what I showed y'all the other day for $10. There was 5 of them for $10. I don't care. I'm not going to spend a fortune on a freaking shirt just to wear in there, but I think this one's got a hole in it dang there. It does, but I don't care. I got a hole in it, probably already had a hole in it, probably, but anyway. I don't care. I'm wearing my thing over. It's no big deal. I'm not going to go out here and spend a lot of money on a freaking shirt just to wear to work. But anyway, I showed y'all my fit. What I was trying to say is I see a lot of people on Instagram, YouTube videos and stuff going in doing a $100 challenge to buy a fit, or they do a $50 challenge to buy a fit, whatever. You can go into Ross any day and get a fit for under 50 bucks. But you may not get a pair of shoes, but sometimes you can find shoes for cheap. I just seen a pair of Jordan 2 lows in there for $14.99 yesterday, but I already had the shoes, you know. So but I don't have many more. I gave them away to the Hands of Hope downtown. But anyway, you don't have to spend $100 to get a fit and a pair of shoes in there. It depends on if you're looking for something on sale. But I found a fit today for $31 and something. $31. Hey, let's get the receipt out and I'm going to tell you how much I spent on that shirt. A Jordan shirt and Jordan shorts. The shirt was $12.99. The shorts were $16.99. It came to $31.78. Now, if you need a pair of shoes to match your fit and you don't have any shoes at all to match your fit, then yeah, you might want to pick up a pair of shoes. But there was nothing in there shoe-wise I wanted. I've already got 20-some pairs of shoes at home. I really don't need any shoes. I got 2 pairs of white shoes. I've got an all black and white pair of high top Nikes. I've got many of shoes that'll match that fit. I don't need a pair of shoes. I already got shoes at home that match it. So when I go into Ross to get a fit, a lot of times I may buy a pair of shoes, but 9 times out of 10 I'm not buying those shoes most of the time because I've already got shoes at home to match most of the fits that I pick up. You know what I mean? An all white pair of shoes will go with any fit you wear. You know, so I'm not out here trying to get full price for stuff. So I got a whole Jordan fit. The shirt was a Jordan for $12.99. The shorts were Jordan for $16.99. I got the whole fit, the shirt and the shorts for $31.78. Where can you go and get a whole fit for less than 50 bucks? That's Jordan. You tell me. I'm just saying. I don't have to spend a lot of money to make a fit. I don't have to. I just got a fit yesterday from Marshalls. What was it, yesterday or the day before last? From Marshalls, I got they were Nike Tech shorts. They were originally like $48, $50, and this is in the bigger youth kids section. I wear a smaller size so I can get by with getting stuff out of the bigger boys youth section. I got the shorts for 20 bucks. They was originally like 50 bucks, $50 or $60. But of course the bigger youth section in the boys is a lot cheaper than men's. I got them for next to nothing, 20 bucks. Got the Jordan shirt for 8 bucks. I got the whole fit for 30 bucks. A little over $30, whole fit. You can't go into Walmart and you couldn't get that because they don't sell that. Jordan shirt, matched white with red and black in it that matches the red Tech shorts. You can't tell me I can't make a fit. I got many of shoes at home, an all white pair of shoes, an all black pair of shoes that'll match it. I've got many shoes at home to match that fit. I didn't need any shoes. Now, I don't think I have an all red pair of shoes, but I've got an all white pair of shoes, so it'll match the fit. You know, so I don't need to buy shoes if I've got an all white pair of shoes to match them. If you're going into places just to buy something just to show content, and it's not something you think you're going to wear, that's really a waste of money, even if it is on sale. If it's something you know damn good well you're not going to wear, excuse my language. There's no point wasting your money on stuff you ain't going to wear. The problem with me is I work 5-6 days a week half the time, and I don't have, the only time I can wear these fits is on my days off, and only get 1 or 2 days a week off. You know, versus when I worked at the drywall factory, I was off half the year, you know, but I work longer hours. But this week I'm working 30 hours. Today starts the beginning of a new pay period, so there's 30 hours in this week that I'm working. They're spacing it out. I'm working 6-hour days every day that I'm scheduled to work. Today, tomorrow, I work 6 hours today. Tomorrow, I'm off Tuesday. I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 to 11. So 5 times 6 hours, that's 30 hours. That's all I'm getting this week. The last couple of weeks, I've gotten 40 hours. I left early last night because I found out that if you get all your stuff done, you can leave early. But if you leave a half hour early every day, that's 3 or 4 hours less on your check, or however many hours that averages up to be. But I left at 10:26 because I found out you're allowed to leave early if you get all your stuff done. The deli closes at 6, or closes at 10 o'clock. So if you're done I'm usually done with my cleaning by 20 after 10 or 10:30. So I clocked out at 10:26. And come to find out, I did get my 8 hours pay from what I got shortened on my last week's check. I did get that on this check. It was kind of confusing. I was trying to figure out how to read the check stuff, pay stuff. But yeah, I did get paid for all my hours last week, plus I got paid my 8 hours. So I was figuring it up, because the gross pay was $706, and I got my net pay was $538.87. So I've only got like maybe $190 some left in my checking account. But I spent a lot of money on clothes. I spent money on cigarettes, gas, eating out, and I went into the grocery store and bought me some food. So it is what it is. But anyway, I want to bring you all content with clothes and stuff, but I also don't want to bring stuff that I'm not going to wear. So when I go into a store, if I don't see anything I want, I don't buy it if it's not something I'm going to wear. Do I like Jordan stuff? Yes, I do. I like Nike. I like Jordan. That's my favorite brand. Nike is my favorite brand. I do like Jordan stuff, but I'm not a big person who has to have a pair of Jordan shoes or has to go in there. They've got many of Jordan shoes in there, but they got a few Jordans in there, but a lot of their Jordans in there are like a lot of their Nikes, more or less Nikes. They're $70 and $80 a pair. I'm not paying that. I wait for that shit to go on sale, because if it sits there long enough, it'll go on sale, and I really don't need any shoes, quite frankly. Now, I bought a couple pairs of shoes, but that's only because they were on sale. I didn't pay full price for them, which you're not giving full price for anything in Ross, but any shoe is not worth $70, $80 inside of Ross. You don't even get the shoe box, first of all. And a lot of people like the shoe box so they can store their shoes, you know, because you just basically have to sit them on the floor with no box to put them in, unless you buy some plastic containers for shoes to put your stuff in. I don't have no room to put plastic cases in my room because I don't have my own place right now. So I'm not going to waste my money going out. I'm not going to buy something I ain't got no room to put, you know, as far as plastic containers. Now, if I ever get my own place, I might buy me some plastic containers, you know, to put my shoes in to keep them up off the floor and stuff. And so, as you well know, my parents had new carpet put down back a month or two ago, and I have to put all my shoes underneath my bed. I don't have no other place to put them. My closet's full of stuff. I don't really have any place to put any more shoes, so I got to be selective on what I buy and what I don't buy. And I do have some clothes I probably need to go through in my closet that don't fit me anymore. I got some pants that are too big now. I've lost 10, 15 pounds in the last year or so. So that's the reason why I had to buy me some pants yesterday. I bought them on the off season. They fit me. I don't like wearing stuff bagging plumb off my butt to where I can't, you know. I do wear baggy stuff from time to time, but I don't like clothes that are so tight I can't breathe in them. That's not me. And I thought this fit was dope. But anyway, I done uploaded that video about the fit. Y'all can go check out that video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Always speak of Christ's truth. And on this video here will probably be uploaded once I get home. It may be the next day because I don't get off till 11. In Ben's, I'm only working 6 hours today. I'm not leaving till 11 o'clock. You know, so I don't care if I'm staying around for a half hour and I got everything done. I'm not clocking out till 11 o'clock because I need all my money this week, since I'm not getting 40 hours. They don't have me scheduled for 40 hours this week, and today starts the beginning of a new pay period. Our pay period starts on a Sunday, it ends on a Saturday. So Saturday's the last day of the week, and then after that we get paid weekly, which is great. I like getting paid by the week, but I wouldn't care to get paid every 2 weeks. But the way these people want to short you on your check, I don't think I'd want to do that. But anyway, this is what I'm bringing you. I try to bring you content. I really wished you all, more people would watch my channel, but I can't force that on somebody. If you don't want to watch me, that's your decision to make. I can't force you to do anything you don't want to do. I can't force you to believe in the Lord. All I can do is speak the light of Christ and the truth, and you have to be willing to receive it. Ultimately, the whole reason why I do this channel is for the Lord. It's not for any other reason than for the Lord. That's why I do this channel. I've spent money on this channel. I bought how many tripods? This makes the second one I bought. And I think I'm going to have to buy me another one because this one ain't wanting to hold up either. I know these things are made of plastic and they sit in my windshield, you know what I mean? It sits on my dash and it's so hot, you know, because with the humidity and everything, plastic melts plastic. Hotness probably melts plastic. And maybe that's the reason why I don't want to hold up, because of the weather. It's so hot. You know, you got sun beating down on your, you know, I don't know. Maybe I need to get something to put in my windshield to cover my to cover my dashboard from cracking from all this heat. This heat is a lot on plastic, so that may be the reason, and maybe I need to buy me a metal one. I don't know, but me buying something to put over top my windshield might be something I want to do. You know, because really the heat on your inside your truck is not good. All the heat when it's this hot outside. I'm not complaining that it's hot. I just wish I didn't have to wear black to my job. I wish I could wear a different color. I wish I could wear black shorts as long as they came below my knees, but I don't think I'm allowed to. It's too damn hot out here to wear pants. Quite frankly, it's hot, and you know, black draws the heat. Light colors reflect it off of you. Anyway, I got my coffee. Y'all see that. I really don't know what the Lord wants me to speak of, so I'm trying to give it time in the Spirit to let Him guide me what I'm to speak of. I know it may seem like sometimes I come on here and I have a little bit of an attitude, you know. I'm bipolar, you know. So, you know, sometimes at work I get aggravated. I don't go off on customers, but I get, you know, it gets to times where, you know, we only get 2 15-minute breaks, so, you know, I take my first break at 5 o'clock. I take my second break at 7 or a little after 7. Sometimes it might be 7:30 before I get to go to break. It depends on who's closing with me. If they're, you know, whoever's on the hot side, what time they decide to go to break. And I don't argue with people what time they go to break. If I have to go to break at a later time, that's fine. It ain't no big deal. We got to make sure our customers are waiting on. And normally, I had somebody closing with me last night. Normally, I don't always have that. Basically, most days I close, I'm there by myself, you know. After 7 o'clock, I'm there by myself in the deli. Now, they'll have somebody in the hot section, but I'm by myself in the deli to clean it up and to slice the meats and everything and cheeses for people who come in there. I got this one guy that works with me. Well, I work with him at least sometimes once or twice, usually about one day out of the week. They got me and him closing together. And I didn't know he was, somebody told me yesterday that he's autistic, which I had a little bit more I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about autism, I'll be honest, I don't, but I know it's probably classified under a mental illness, or maybe it's not, I don't know, either or. You know, he wants to walk in and out of the daggone place, and he wants to critique everything I do that really gets on my nerve. And be you me, y'all, I'm an advocate for people with mental health because I deal with mental health, but I don't have autism. But, you know, this guy is probably in his early 20s. He's in and out of the deli all day long. He comes on the floor coming in at the same time as me when he closes with me. And he walks in and out getting water. He walks in and out. And I don't mind somebody going to the bathroom, but he stays in there for a half hour or more at a time. And here I got these people, and I basically cleaned about everything last night while he stood there and watched me and was on his phone listening to music. Now, I don't mind somebody listening to music because we didn't have nobody the last 2 hours yesterday. So, you know, it is what it is. So I just clean the slicers. I can't stand around and not do nothing. I've got to do something. So mainly on night shift, you're just cleaning up after everybody else. You know, most of the last 4 hours of the shift, you're cleaning up after people. You might get 3 or 4 people that ask for some cheese or meats. But at 8:30, at 6 o'clock, I shut down. We got 2 meat slicers, 1 cheese slicer. I start shutting down the first slicer because we don't get enough people to need 2 slicers open past 6 or 6:30. So I shut it down and clean it because we don't have enough customers that we need to have 2 slicers open at 8, after past 6:30 or 7, because we don't have that many people. But it depends on what day it is. Today, we'll probably be busier because our busiest days are Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays and Sundays, and today's Sunday. But anyway, I got to relight my lighter. But I'm just saying, I don't really like when this guy wants to critique me. And it's like, he says, well, don't leave this piece of cheese. I left a piece of cheese sitting on the slicer. Not on top of it, but right where you lay the stuff down with the piece of paper. And I was busy waiting on other customers, but that was the only time I had done that. And he sits and points out every little thing that I don't do right. But yet, how many times did he open up meat and not put it back when he was done slicing it that I had to clean up after? And he'd left 2 or 3 pieces of meat and 2 or 3 pieces of cheese laying on every slicer. And I took it off and threw it in the trash can and cleaned it up. But yet he's going to call me out on one little thing, but he don't see what he does. He ain't perfect at what he does. Now he says he's got back problems and he's got hip problems. Okay, I understand that. I got back issues too. I don't have any hip issues, but I got back issues, and I understand that. But it still don't give you the right to go out of here and just stand there and watch me do everything while you just stand there and play on your phone for 2 damn hours. And roam in and out of places and stay in the bathroom for a half hour at a time half the time when he's in there. He don't really work that hard. I'm the one waiting on most of the customers and doing the cleaning. When we're not busy and we have nobody, we're supposed to stay busy sweeping the floor, cleaning the stuff up, or whatever we have to do. We're not getting paid to stand around. Regardless of what mental issue you have, you still need to do your job. If you're not going to do your job, then why apply for a job? I don't know. I understand he has a mental illness, if that's the case, but he never told me that out of his mouth. Somebody else told me that works back there with me. But I just, I have nothing against him, but he needs to stay busy. And a lot of times I come in on my shift, and day shift just leaves all their trash laying there. They don't take it out of the trash can. It's plumb overflowing in a big ass trash can, and there's stuff falling on the floor. And by that time, I can't lift the trash bag. It'd be easier if they just emptied it after it got about halfway full, because it's so heavy I can't even lift it. I'm not tearing my back up. Nobody can say I don't work, because I work from the time I hit that floor to the time I leave. And I can tell you one thing, it's not right when people get by with doing stuff, but this guy shows up to work every day. He's scheduled to work, but yeah, it's probably the best job he's ever had because he don't do shit. I mean, regardless, it's not right for you to stand around and let other people do all the work while you sit back and watch them do it all. And somebody else told me that works on the hot side, but he's trained in both sides. He's trained in the deli and on the hot section. And he told me, he said, he's seen you come in, and he told me he's just going to sit back and let you do it all. That's fucked up, because that's narcissistic. That's manipulative. You're sitting there trying to be nice and act like you got all these issues. Yeah, you may have, but if you can't perform your job, if you can't do your job, you can't wait on customers, what the fuck you doing working here? You don't need to be in here if you're not going to work. It's not fair for them to pay you $14.50 an hour for you to stand around and let me do all the work. If that's the case, they don't even need to have you come in here, because you're not doing shit. You can't sit there and tell me that they're paying you to stand around. What job can you just stand around and do what you want to do? This is where I'm talking about workplace influence, workplace toxic environments. There will be people, I'm telling you, and this boy always wants to argue with me. He said, I asked him about his last job. He said, well, the last job I had, they didn't, And I thought, well, they probably fired your ass because you don't want to fucking do shit. You don't want to do shit. You come in here and you stand around for 2 or 3 hours while you see me cleaning up shit, and by the end of the night, the only thing he had to do was clean the floor, and I cleaned the other half of the floor, plus I cleaned all the slicers. So what the hell did he do? For 2 hours, we didn't have anybody to wait on. He could have been helping me clean, but I didn't need him there anyway. I would love to have somebody in there that wants to help me, who actually wants to work, but not somebody that wants to stand around. I can't stand around. I got to keep busy. That's just too long of a night just to stand there for 2 damn hours and you ain't got no customers. Then I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning shit up. Then I told him it was like 20 minutes till 10. And I said, you might as well go ahead and start cleaning the floor. I said, you know, there's no point in just standing here. You know, I said, he's like, well, we'll be out of here early. Well, who cares if we get to leave an hour early or a half hour early? What makes a difference? You can stay and stand around till it's time to clock out if that's what you want to do, but they allow you to leave early. I didn't know this. I noticed other people was leaving a half hour because one girl, she left at 9:33 the other day on the hot section. And I said, you know, she said she was scheduled till 10 o'clock. Well, she got all her shit done, so she went on and clocked out. But you don't have to clock out early. You can stand around and wait till it's your time to clock out. If they got you scheduled at 10, you can stay to 10. But if you get done early enough, you can go on and clock out. But you ain't going to get paid for that time that you didn't stay. You know what I mean? It's your choice whether you want to clock out early or as long as you got all your stuff done. That's the thing. Then there's times where people call in on the hot section and they don't have anybody scheduled because they usually only schedule one person in the deli and one person in the hot section. And if somebody calls in on the hot section, and a lot of times you could be left by yourself to run the hot section and the deli, one person to run both ends. And if that shit happens to me, I'm going home. I ain't quitting. I said, but I'm not doing this by myself. Unless you call somebody in here to help me out in this, I'm not doing this by myself. Now, if they have somebody come over to help me clean up stuff, that might be different. But I'm not going to do all that shit by myself. That's too much to throw on one person. And they've done it to this one guy that I say don't want to work. He comes to work every day, but he don't have to do shit. I understand that people have back issues. I have back issues myself. I'm not saying nothing bad about that. I'm not saying nothing against him having a mental illness, because I do, but I still have to do my job. I'm not allowed just to stand there and let everybody else do a fucking job. Excuse my language, but we all got to do our job. If we got hired to work, we didn't get hired to stand around. I speak my truth no matter what. You know, it is what it is. I mean, that's what I say about workplace environments. They throw all the work off. When they see, when you go into a new job, don't go in there gunning it. When I mean gunning it, I mean overexerting and overworking yourself when you see other people standing back not doing nothing. Because like I said, if you started a job, I can't lift that heavy trash can. I told them from the get-go, I said, I got back problems. I said, I can't lift that heavy stuff when it's completely full. I can't even lift it. It weighs more than me. I ain't tearing my back up in that place. Hell no. I did that at my last job. I did that twice, put my back out. I ain't doing that again. And I'm not going to do it. I mean, you think about it, I'm lifting all these heavy-ass meats all day long, excuse my language, but I'm not holier now, I'm not perfect. But I'm just saying, you know, I lift heavy meats all day long, and I'm mostly the one cutting the meats and cheeses for people, because when he's there, he ain't doing shit. And everybody back there says he walks in and out of the place, going to the bathroom, and it's okay to go to the bathroom, but it don't take a half hour to go take a piss. It don't take a half hour, unless you're sick or unless you're doing number 2, it don't take a half hour to use the bathroom. But I never said nothing to anybody higher up when he did it, and many people don't say nothing because they're not going to fire him. They're not going to get rid of him because he shows up to work every day, and a lot of people ain't showing up to work. They just fired somebody not too long ago because they was 3 days, no call, no show. Any job you work at, if you don't call in for 3 days in a row, that's an automatic fire. You're not calling in. So you're not going to have a job. I don't care where you work. Most places are going to fire you for 3 days, no call, no show. And I guess he left because he got tired of the way the company treated him. I don't know. All I know is you're overworked in there and underpaid. $14.50 an hour is not bad money for this town, but what we do in there when we're scheduled by ourselves to wait on all these people, plus we have to have the whole place clean before we leave. And if you wait till, I don't wait till freaking 9:30 or 10 o'clock to start cleaning them slicers. It takes a half hour a piece to clean each one of them. That's an hour and a half. So when we don't have very many people, I'm cleaning slicers and shutting them down early. I leave one open. And I leave the cheese slicer open till about 9 or 9:30 because I know some people come in at the last minute and want cheese. We're not supposed to slice cheese on the meat slicers. We got one cheese slicer and 2 meat slicers. And we don't have as many people on night shift as they do during the day. And I understand. I've worked 7 to 3, so I know there's a lot of people in there during the day than there is in the evening. But I also know there's people that'll come in there at the last minute and ask for something, and I ain't damn gonna cut no damn meats at fucking 20 minutes till 10. I don't give a shit. If I've already cleaned that shit up, who in the hell will come through and want you to cut something at 20 minutes before the damn store closes? I ain't had it happen to me yet, but I'm not fucking doing that shit. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, you know the store closes at 10 o'clock and you come in here at 9:30 and start shopping for a whole week's worth of groceries. Get the fuck real. Come on now, excuse my language, but that's just stupid. That's like the other night I got off. I wanted to go out to eat, but it was 11:30. And anyway, I wanted to stop at Applebee's, but they close at 12 o'clock. I thought, I'm not going in there at 25 minutes after 11 and ordering food, because it might take that long for them to fix it. And when they close at 12 o'clock, people are ready to get off work when it's time for them to go home. They've already dealt with shit, customers and everything else. And they probably are ready to go home after they've worked a full shift. They don't want to be stuck in there past 12 because I chose to come in there at the damn last minute. I wasn't going to do that. I got more respect for people than that, because I know when I get off work, I'm ready to go home. I don't want to be stuck in there to 12, 1 o'clock trying to clean shit up because somebody didn't show up to work, so I'm stuck staying over an hour trying to get everything cleaned up because they didn't show up to work. And it ain't the person's fault that called in, because they might have a legit reason. They may be sick, something may have come up that they had to call in. You know, there is times people have to call in. But when somebody is a 3-day no-call, no-show, you're automatically fired in most places. They're not going to keep you if you're not calling in. And if you miss 3 days, you got to have a doctor's note for why you've been off for 3 days. Most places I worked at, you got to have an excuse. But if it's 3 days no-call, no-show, that's an automatic fire. You ain't got no job, honey. That's common sense. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just stating reality. No job you work at, could you probably not call in for 3 days in a row, that's an automatic fire. They assume you're just quitting. You're not letting them know nothing. That's what happened to me when I went through Mania. I left Berry Global and I didn't give him a notice because I felt like God was telling me to leave that job. And in a way, I still think He wanted me to leave that job. Because working nights and going from nights to days every 3 months is mainly what caused my Mania episode. I'm not working hours like that anymore. I'm not working third shift. Because I knew when I went back to that shift that something was going to happen with an episode, because I was going from nights to days every 3 months, and that was the first time I'd ever worked a DuPont shift. And I will never do that again. No, never. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace, love y'all.